reference data is the terms and conditions of financial instruments, the description of ETFs, indices, the behavior of these instruments, the corporate action associated with the instruments, as well as the description of counterparties and issuers in a marketplace. So it's basically the description of the instruments and the issuers and the counterparties. And there's many sources, hundreds of sources of reference data. There's a lot of issues about the indexation and the classification of reference data. There's a lot of issue around cleanliness of data. And reference data is used throughout the whole trade cycle, front to middle and back, clearing settlement. If you don't get the reference data right, the trade is going to break. And the trade breaks are in the order of 30 to 45%. So the importance of reference data for a firm is mission critical. If you get pristine reference data throughout your middle and back office system, you're going to increase your STP rate, you're going to increase your efficiency, you're going to lower your operating costs, which is, I think, very, very high on the bank's priorities. There's a lot of issues about normalization. There's been every vendor has got their own codes. So there's a Reuters code, a Bloomberg code, there's ISIN, CEDAW, exchange code, trade symbols, and there's difficulty in matching those. Beyond that, there's issues with timeliness of the reference data with these new instruments. There's also issues around the quality of the data, and with different sources not agreeing necessarily on a expiration date. So there's a lot of work to be done to go back to the actual source, the issuing documents, the exchange, to get to the actual truth of what the instrument, how the instrument should behave, and when is the new instruments going to trade, and do we have all the attributes to process that data for my downstream systems. The SmartStream reference data utility was built and launched 5 years ago, been in production for 5 years. And our model is to process data on behalf of our clients. So the data we say, I want this and this data vendors, and we'll normalize and cleanse the data on their behalf. What is very, very important is we're not a data aggregator, we're not a data vendor, we are a processing agent on behalf of the clients. So what we do is normalize and cleanse the data according to the SLA we have with each specific client. And very, very importantly, we design a utility to be highly scalable, so we can serve any number of security masters and any number of clients of a single process, single data set on our side. And beyond that, also as important is the fact that we do single vendor cleansing, meaning that we never have any data from any vendor touching another vendor's data throughout the whole process. And we achieve extremely high levels of quality without doing the comparison. One, we can't, it's illegal through the contract, but two, we get much better results by doing the single vendor cleansing by the introduction of hundreds of thousands of rules and a data operation desk that will examine and process the exceptions. When the clients benefit from the utility, one, by reducing the operational costs, by tremendously, having a tremendous reduction in trade breaks. So the remediation costs of these trades that were broken because of reference data mismatches disappear altogether. They get better data flowing through the system, and for regulatory reporting and cash management, it's critical to have pristine data flowing through your systems. When you declare a position, you risk the regulators expect you to have proper data governance in place, and that each firm will stand by their data in their report. So we can help with improving the quality of regulatory reporting. And lastly, it's a function that's you have 50,000 firms doing on their own, right? Cleaning up the closing price for IBM. There's no value add, right? So it's better as a mutualized service. So I think there's a big move from both the buy side and sell side to move that process outside in a utility model. So the first thing is, we think we're the only utility that was designed as a utility out there. There's been other efforts trying to use on-site EDM platforms to power utilities, and we looked at all of those when we built a utility in the first place. And there was a multi-tenancy, single vendor cleansing, and the ability to guarantee the data quality, there was nobody else who could do that. So we had to build the stack ourselves, and we are the only vendor to our knowledge that would stand by data quality. So we have a data quality contract and an SLA that guarantees a certain level of quality that is agreed with the client. We have a number of very large clients in production. We have done extremely well in terms of normalization data, starting with listed derivatives, expanding into equities and fixed income. I think we've listened to our clients, and because we're leading a reconciliation vendor, we know exactly why trade breaks. So it was natural for us to build a utility, basically to increase the STP rates downstream for our clients. Well, we are constantly adding content. We've been driven by a client to expand the asset coverage, going to indices, ETFs, settlement instruction data. So we started with instrument reference data, and now expanding into basically all the external data that a financial firm will need to run their million back-office processes. We're also expanding to, I mentioned timeliness before, we're expanding into creating a real-time alerting service for new issues, so that the front office can be set up ahead of the trading day with all new issues about to trade that day. And that's also unique in the marketplace. And all the work we do, the bank doesn't have to do themselves. Because today, the onus is on the banks on the buy side to do that work themselves. So we move that process to a mutualized service so that the banks don't have, the bank again on their clients don't have to do that on their own.